You need facts, figures, scores, and scoops, and the truth.
Good morning. It is the Tuesday, Monday edition due to the public holiday yesterday. This is not the sports news. And getting straight into it, shock news yesterday with Jermaine Sioposenwe retiring from international football. That is Banyana's forward. And she's saying after WAFCON in July in Morocco, that happens from the 5th until the 26th of July, she's calling it quits and she's just saying, it is time. She sat back, she's thought about it, and for her well-being, as she mentioned, that she's retiring. I'm a little sad about this, definitely. Going into a World Cup, she has 2 World Cups. She's also been a part of the WAFCON team, winning in 2022. And hopefully, this being her last WAFCON, a huge international competition on the African continent, really hoping that they come out tops there. So we'll get into that. We'll ask Mthokozisi Dube about that as well. And then we have to give a huge round of applause because it is Prudence Sekgodiso and Bradley Nkwana, and they reached the podium at the 7th leg of the Diamond League out in Stockholm. A huge round of applause. When we chatted to Geraldine Pele, she also said, you know, it's been in the making. It's been a while since athletes have taken the podium, since we've seen athletes come through the way they have. And in the past 5 years, there has been immense work being put into athletics for athletes to come out tops the way that they have. So please be a part of the conversation today. Those are the 2 top stories, not forgetting that we have to talk about cricket. Rugby we're throwing in there. F1 is there. Transfer window, what is happening? There's buzzers of a Percy Tau who's a free agent who is in Joburg. He is in SA. Where is he going? And then also still, we don't know what's happening out at Orlando Stadium in terms of who takes over the reins from coach Riviero. So where do we stand? Mthokozisi Dube comes in and answers those questions for us. So please, it's a Prince on the F1. It's a Mpho on rugby as well as cricket. Mtho on that transfer news and all the latest in local SA football. We are interactive, so please go ahead and follow us. YouTube, it is Omni Audio Africa. Facebook, Omni Audio. We're on Insta, Omni Audio Africa. TikTok, Omni Audio Africa. There you have it. Those are all our platforms. So please do get interactive with us. So talking about Jermaine, that makes our top headline this morning at 31, says WAFCON is the last. 100 caps and scored more than 20 goals. And these are the reasons. She's saying personal growth and well-being as key reasons for her decisions. It makes me think a little further, though. She's not giving up football. She's just giving up playing for her country. Why? I'd love to get into the why behind that, because is that not the highest honor? As talented as she is, where she hails from, the role model that she has become, it's question marks for me. You know, Robin Moodley did the same thing, but she cited mental wellness, and she says she's stepping aside and away from the national team for a while. But then again, these women are hugely talented. And if you take a look at what it is that they've achieved, and also going back to their 2022 WAFCON complement, personnel, staff, players, there's magic there. But is something amiss that we're not seeing? And that's kind of where I'm going with this. I hope not. But I just think these women have so much to offer that why do they want to continue offering it somewhere else and not in the national team where it is so needed? The country so needs that. But then again, I step back and say, you know what, let me salute them for everything that they've done. They've contributed. And if it is that they feel that it is time, who am I to doubt that, right? But again, so talented. And we definitely, I mean, she's only 31. For me, that's not old. Maybe, you know, at the side of 30. But yeah, but that's not old in my view. And so many years still to go. But anyway, I think I could go on forever with this. But I'm really sad to see Jermaine retire and give up. I think a team that just needs her. They need her so much still. But also Sports for Choices coach Des Ellis, I think, with the Hollywood Bet Super League and just blooding new footballers. And perhaps it's time that she steps aside and somebody else take that. But again, I go back to the why. I just want to know the why. And for me, that's not answered. Anyway, English Women's Super League, they'll expand from 12 to 14 teams. That's starting in the 2026-27 season. So it's a revised promotion relegation system as well. And this change is pending the FA approval, part of a 10 year plan aimed at improving facility staffing and youth development across football in England. I love this, and I wish it is something we could adopt here in South Africa. I mean, it's a 34% increase in league revenue to a £65 million average, and attendance has dropped by 10% last season, signalling challenges in sustaining post-Euro 2022 interest. So that's our guest who just walked past here. He's a little late, and he's going to be talking rugby with us a little later. Okay, and then we're going to Prudence Mthokozisi, because her, along with Bradley Nkwana, they reached the podium at the 7th leg of the Diamond League that was in Stockholm. Mthokozisi finishing 3rd in the women's 800 meters. Congrats. Nkwana placing 2nd in the men's 100 meters pre-program race. Abdurrahman Karim made his Diamond League debut in the men's 200 meters. Finishing 5th with a time of 20.52 seconds. And ASA president, that's James Molloy, he's come out and obviously given the athletes the credit that they're due, and just emphasizing the importance of podium finishes, especially in athletics, and the value of these performances, because not forgetting the upcoming World Championships that are happening out in Tokyo. So that is just some of the headlines and stories making headlines. We spoke about Mthokozisi Dube of the Far Post, and we hope to get him on the line ASAP. And he talks transfers with us. Mtho, good to have you. How's things going out at the Far Post?
Good morning, Romy, and good morning to the listeners. Things are going well. It's getting busy. You get a call late at night that Uldering has just left Cape Town City. Before he's even announced, he's now he's going to buy Leverkusen. So yeah, man, you just wake up and you have to write the story, because if you don't, then
Yeah, you don't want to be scooped. So, you don't want to be scooped. But there is a buzz. What is happening with Percy Tau? Because yesterday it was just Percy Tau, buzz, buzz, buzz everywhere. You turn on the socials, he's there, just everywhere.
No, he's been trending. I mean, in the last couple of days, I think he's made it clear that he's open to offers from obviously the big clubs in South Africa. He's even made it clear how much he wants to earn.
What was it, 20 million?
No, it was, I think, a net salary of, 450,000 rands per month.
Because some way, can you see now why I said it was just a buzz? Because he jokingly said in an interview, 20 million and he'll play for Chiefs or, something like that. That's what I'm just saying. It's a buzz, but give us the fact, Mtho.
Yeah. Yeah, look, so you look at the start of the year, I think in January, there was, talks between him and Kaizer Chiefs, but didn't go very far, because I think he was considering, going to Qatar, which he ended up doing, going to Qatar. But at the moment, there's also interest in Egypt. Zamalek interested in him. They're obviously, looking at him. He's someone that they would love to sign. And then locally, there's not been any engagement between, him and the local clubs. But you could have a scenario where, because Coach Nabi at Chiefs at some point did say that he was a player that he would have loved to have in his dressing room. So, I mean, it's a story that we obviously need to monitor and see. And during the transfer window, Percy, could be in Johannesburg today, and tomorrow is in Cairo. So we'll definitely keep a close eye on that story.
So nothing signed, nothing sealed, nothing concrete.
Nothing concrete at the moment.
But I also want to know, I often think, does he go back to Mamelodi Sundowns under new administration, so to speak, since he's left? But then I also think a Percy Tau at a Kaizer Chiefs, for me, doesn't make sense. Does he fit in with the current crop of players? Would it work?
Look, I think the club where he would fit in well is Kaizer Chiefs. And the reason I say that is because you look at his position. I think Kaizer Chiefs are crying for a winger, a winger who scores goals, also creates goals. They're crying for experience. I think it's a team that has a lot of young players. that are, coming up, not too much experience. It's a team that's crying for quality, the kind of quality that Pesitao. It's a team that's crying for leadership, the kind of leadership that Pesitao would bring. When you look at the other two teams, let's say Pirates, you look at Sundowns. I think Sundowns, they have a lot of, quality in his position. I don't think Sundowns really need him at this point. So I'd say it's
They
a case
don't, but it makes better sense to me though, Mtho, because now I'm also just like, how long is it going to take everybody to gel in with Percy Tau? And then also having a younger squad, for me, it's kind of like you're running alongside your hero on the pitch. And so, you can't exactly be, starstruck. But this is your teammate that you've got to feed in order for this player to score goals.
Yeah, look, I think it makes a lot of sense because then, you've got Mfundo Vilakazi who learns from a Pesitao. You've got Mdu Shabalala who learns from Pesitao. I mean, you can see the impact that Thabo Cele has had in the Kaizer Chiefs dressing room. I think even I've spoken to some of the players and they're like, oh, this guy, the way he's professional, the way he trains, the way he does things. So you need more of such players in Kaizer Chiefs. I mean, I spoke to someone in the club and they were explaining to me that the report of the technical team was that the team needs leaders, and I think Percy brings that. I mean, he's a Bafana vice captain, he's been for a while. He comes into that dressing room and everyone is looking at him, bruh, how did you get to Brighton? How did you play at Al Ali, So it definitely is a character that Kaizer Chiefs needs at this point, just to have that balance,
Yeah.
And he's gonna score goals, which Chiefs struggled to do in the last couple of seasons. So I think Percy to Chiefs makes a lot of sense, honestly.
We wait and see. And I guess he walks in and assumes that captain's armband already. How can he not? Any news from Orlando? Any big news in terms of transfers? Because you did say the phone is buzzing and it's busy.
Look, the only news Pirates is that they're close to sealing a deal with Tsepang Muremi, Amazulu winger. He recently was in the Bafana squad, so we could, in the next few days, we could see him announced as an Orlando Pirates player. Still looking for that information that we all need from the coach. Still.
Yeah, and so also, what I was thinking is, can you remember a club called Royal AM? What happens there? I mean, the story kind of, it fizzled out, but I want to know, have players been paid? What happens to the status? Like, where are we? I think we've just long forgotten and moved on.
Yeah, look, I think, according to the PSL handbook, it's as though the club never existed, The players are obviously now moving to different clubs, Whoever gets contract is able to move to to a new club. So we've seen quite a number of the players find new homes, but it's not all of them that are going to find new clubs. So yeah, look, it's a bit of an unfortunate situation because the players are obviously forgotten, but one hopes they will definitely get new clubs and be able to move on.
With that said, I mean, players also need to find clubs. Some aren't, some are, and are happy too. Does Far Post have any information in terms of players whose salaries haven't been paid? This is Cape Town City, a player on loan not paid since Jan. Cali's players as well. Any word on when these clubs will be honouring the contracts that they have with players?
Look, there's quite a number of, I think we carried a story, I think 2 weeks ago about, I think Kruger FC had gone 2 months without paying salaries. Pretoria Kelly's had gone 3 months without paying salaries. And we actually spoke to the two clubs and they acknowledged that they were facing financial challenges and were unable to pay players. I think I spoke to one of the players at Kelly's last week on Friday, and they confirmed to me that they were still waiting for their salaries. But they've actually written to a union that represents them, and the union has written to the PSL, to see if maybe they could intervene and try and sort the issue out. So yeah, a bit unfortunate as well.
Is this a football players union? Mtho? Mtho?
Yes. It's there's two. There is SAFPU.
Mm-hmm. So is SAFPU their union?
Population. Hello, can you hear me?
I can now. Is SAFPU their union?
Yes. I was saying it's a footballers union.
All right.
Yep.
So the Football Players Union. Let's hope they get to the bottom of that. Mthokozisi Dube out at the Far Post. Thank you so much for joining us, letting us in on the transfer news. Buzzing because it's busy. Players moving and shaking one team to the other team. No real news as to who takes over at Orlando Stadium. And Percy Tau has not as yet found a club in South Africa. And if he does, well, Mtho is saying off you go to Chiefs, where they need what it is that he brings to the table. I'm still scratching my head. I'm not too sure if that is quite the fit for Percy, but then again, that's just me. After the break, Brett Burns, he talks Bulls and where they are licking their wounds today. URC loss.